We move on to question 12, and I call upon the honourable member for Arbory, Castletown and Malew to ask the question.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to ask the Minister for Enterprise what dialogue is taking place with regard to COVID-19-related challenges to businesses. Thank you.
Minister for Enterprise to reply.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to thank the honourable member for his question. The Department for Enterprise continually engages with the business community through its agencies, through industry bodies and contact directly with individual companies. Updates are sent directly to the Economic Recovery Group for discussion in meetings, and officers from the Department also attend ERG meetings to give direct feedback to the group. In addition, I am regularly contacted directly by businesses and industry groups, as is the Treasury Minister. All this feedback is taken into consideration and used to inform the ERG's policies. In response to the feedback collected through the Department's dialogue with businesses, last week the ERG announced a further £3.4 million to support local businesses in response to continuing pressures around COVID-19. This is in addition to the financial support of over £9 million announced in December. The Department will continue to keep communication lines open with businesses in relation to COVID-19 and any other matter as part of its duty to support our island's economy. Should honourable members become aware of particular issues affecting businesses, employees and employers within their constituency, I would be very grateful if they can raise them with me. Thank you.
Supplementary, Mr. Moorhouse.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Minister, for that reassuring answer, the additional money and also that additional support. The Winter Disruption Scheme has now had over 150 applicants. Is that lower than the Department had expected, given the number of entrepreneurs raising concerns? And how many of these applications were successful? Thank you.
Minister to reply.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. And again, I thank the honourable member for his question. The number of applications and the success or otherwise of them are on the Department for Enterprise's website and are updated on a regular basis. But certainly in terms of the winter disruption scheme, we've had 190 applications up until now. 123 of them have been settled. And also in terms of the December disruption scheme, 106 applications have been received up till now, and 90 have been paid out, and that should be accelerated this week. So in total, for these two schemes, we've already paid out £750,000 to those businesses. Now, businesses will apply when they have time to apply, and obviously many of them have been suffering disruption during the period between December and the new year, which is why these schemes are open until the end of March to make sure that we can accept applications from all those affected businesses, and also why we've agreed to contribute towards any accountants' fees that may be required to fulfil the requirements of these individual applications. Thank you.
Supplementary, Mr. Moorhouse.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Minister, for that detailed answer. It's really reassuring to see the difference between the numbers on the internet at the end of last week and the numbers you've given us today, which really shows that massive increase in the number of applicants that have been successful and the additional cash that's been given, which is really positive. A falling average turnover of 18.6% in a 3-month period prior to the application for support, compared with a year earlier, looks both random and incredibly severe. What factors led to the figure being selected? And in a relatively short period of time, the department's actually looked at the headline figure again and gone from the 25% to 18.6%, now down to 15%. How flexible is this headline figure when considering support? And at a time of increasing costs and uncertainty, is the Minister expecting continued reductions in that headline figure? Thank you.
Minister to reply.
Thank you, Mr. President. And I think, whilst I'm quite happy to answer the question from the honourable member, we're straying a bit off the point of the original question, which was about dialogue. The changes to the reduction in turnover were due to dialogue with employers. The reduction from 25% to 18.6% is not random. It was based very much on the restaurants and hotels component of CPI, which stood at 6.4% on a year-on-year basis for both October and November 2021. And a further adjustment was made for the increased staff costs that businesses were facing. So we've got a scheme now. We're trying to encourage employers to apply for that scheme where appropriate, and we will continue to review the uptake of that scheme as we go between now and the end of March. Thank you.
Final supplementary, Mr Moorhouse.
Thank you, Mr President, and thank you, Minister, for explaining how those adjustments were made, because from the outside it's often appearing to be a large figure that couldn't be met, and then the adjustments come in, but with the clarification it makes much more sense. In terms of the COVID website, there's lots of information there, and it's kind of showing that dialogue that's taking place between the department and individuals out there. But at the moment it's become a clutter in terms of all the schemes that have been offered are still being shown. Would it be possible to actually have a clear out so the existing schemes take priority and are much easier to navigate and find the support that is available now? Thank you.
Minister to reply.
Thank you, Mr President. The DFE has redesigned its own website with all the updated information. That will continue to be updated, including the figures for applicants. And so I'd ask him to direct any of his constituents, companies or employees towards that scheme. And I will ask that the other COVID-19 site is also refreshed. Thank you.